This is a little... Oh, wow. Sorry. Okay, this is a little later than most. I'm going to give you my opinion on a Logan Paul situation. I just recently watched a recap of the video that somebody else watched because it had already been deleted. And you have to understand that even at my age, I have experienced death, dead bodies, and the shock from it. And early on, I realized that everyone handles that at a completely different rate, in a totally different way, and it is very shocking. And you don't really know how you're going to act if it was to happen to you, what you're going to say. Sometimes laughing is a defense mechanism to keep from crying or freaking out, something of that nature. Now, I know that he's known to be a douchebag, but I don't think that he meant it in the sense that so many are blowing it up to be. Do I think he should have showed the body? Absolutely not. That was completely idiotic. It was completely disrespectful. He could have made a point with that and actually had a very good message without having to show the body. But I think with the shock, I don't think that he should have... I mean, what you saw was a raw emotion. Everybody reacts differently to things like that. Some people freak out, some people cry, some people laugh. I've seen it. And just because they laugh, it doesn't mean they're a horrible person. It's just how they deal with things. Some people laugh to avoid freaking out or, avoid crying because maybe they've been raised and taught that that isn't what grown men do, because believe it or not, there are parents that teach their kids that. Showing the body? No. Absolutely not. Do I think that his apology was heartfelt? Absolutely. And this is coming from somebody who thinks that he is a complete douchebag. Granted, I like him better than his brother, but he's still a douchebag. But I kind of feel bad for the kid because he even says it himself. He's still a kid. Yes, I know he's the age of an adult, but he's still very kid-like. I'm not making excuses for him. Again, I have seen grown adults react in some weird ways that some people may get offended by when it comes to things of that nature that shock them or upset them, anything like that. He was seriously going in there to camp and talk about the forest and what he's heard. And I mean, if you really do some digging, there's a lot of videos that's been done on that forest. I think it was really surprising, too, that they found the body where they did because it was so close to the parking lot. Some of the things that he said was very wrong, but I think that kind of comes with the shock. And again, unless you're put in that situation, you have not a clue what you would say or how you would react. I just hope that you would be smart enough not to put the body on a video, because it is very disrespectful, not only to, the person, but to their family. Absolutely horrible. I can only hope that he has learned who that was and reached out to their family and apologized to them. I think he owes them more of an apology than us. As far as his fan base being so young, he is one of those that I believe that parents should really be monitoring what their kids are watching. I'm not saying that you need to be an adult to watch his film. I don't know many adults that would be very entertained by his antics or his content. But I don't think that him nor his brother, either one, is somebody that I would want young kids watching. But that's me. But no, I don't think that he was being his typical douchebag self for the most part. I feel that it was just the initial shock and raw emotion, and that is not something everybody's going to be able to experience in their life. It isn't something that everybody experiences ever in their life. Unfortunately, I have, and I know how I react to that sort of thing. And then I've seen some others that react in a quite crazy way. I lost somebody very close in my life due to a drunk driver who was actually very mutilated in the process. And when we had to go view the body to determine if it would be able to be open or closed casket, the way the funeral home made it sound that it wasn't horrible, she was completely mangled. And somebody that was with the family wanted to take pictures with a Polaroid camera of her for us to have to remember her. I don't want to remember that image. But they thought that was the right thing to do at the time. It completely wasn't. None of us wanted to remember her like that. We wanted to remember her as the beautiful woman that she was. So, and people react in a different way. So, the laughing, I think that was shock. I think it's a defense mechanism that he uses. I don't agree with the body at all. He should not have put that in the video. And I think some of the comments like, have you ever had your picture standing next to a dead guy? Totally inappropriate. I do think that he realizes that now. And I do think that he is 100% truly sorry for what he did. But I don't think that apology needs to be to his YouTube community. I mean, yeah, he needs to apologize for what some seen. He does. But I think that he needs to reach out to the family of the person. I'm assuming it was a man or a young man. He needs to try to reach out to that family and apologize for what he did and offer help. And I hope that this teaches him to do a little more research into mental health, suicide awareness, just that sort of thing. Maybe even sit down and teach his little jackass little brother Jake a thing or two, because he's nothing but a bully. 100%. Yeah, he went and helped in Texas, but that's the only good thing I've ever seen that boy do. I mean, as much as I don't like either one of those blonde brothers, Logan actually does things to help the community when he can. I hope that he eventually gets to the point where he can come back. I hope that people eventually realize that he really is truly sorry. That doesn't make it right. It will never make it right. There are going to be people that's going to completely cut them out of their lives. There's going to be people that thinks that, you know, he should be banned and this should completely destroy his thing, his fame, whatever. With what I know about Hollywood, I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think that we should wish him the worst in life just because of a mistake. Yes, it was a bad mistake. It was a horrible mistake. He knows that. But he said his apologies to us, some of us who've seen it, some of us who haven't. But he really needs to reach out to the family and apologize to them. I don't know if he's done that. He may have. But I think that most of what you see was just raw initial shock. And the only thing real jackass that he did was, you know, making comments like, have you ever had your picture taken next to a dead guy? And then showing the body. That was really the most jackass things he did. I mean, laughing, I can see where people would think that's a jackass move, but I also know that it's really common when shock happens. It's really common when somebody doesn't know how to handle something. I hope that he's able to heal, because I'm telling you, once reality sets in after you see something like that, it's really hard to kind of process. And then you look back and you realize sometimes, well, I could have done this or I could have done that, and I shouldn't have said this or I shouldn't have said that. He's going to be dealing with a lot of that. And I'm not trying to defend him because, like I said, there was some things he did that was pretty much, a complete jackass. But the laughing, I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a raw emotion. He's never experienced something like that before. So that's how he reacts to those things. The jokes and stuff were stupid, inappropriate, and I'm getting a loss for my words. Anyway, I think everybody gets the point. He shouldn't be let off the hook, but I think some people are focusing on some of the wrong things and should be focusing elsewhere. And I hope that he learns from this, like I said, and does a whole thing where he really talks about these things, because it is a real thing. I've suffered from depression and battled it most of my life. I've got loved ones that have and still do, and I've lost a few people to suicide. So, it's not something that I take too lightly. But I do understand how it is when you see things like that and you don't know what's going on. Anyway, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, turn on the little notification bell. If you haven't noticed, we do a little bit of everything around here. If you have a comment of something that you would like for us to do or try here, let me know. If we can do it, it will be done. Love you guys.